Hello everybody, welcome to Stamp Designs with Denise. I am Denise Johnson, an independent demonstrator for Stamping Up, and I'm coming to you from Bedford, New Hampshire. Spring has finally sprung, well at least the calendar tells us so, and actually here in New Hampshire the weather is a little bit warmer and almost all of our snow, at least in my yard and around the neighborhood, has mostly melted. So looking forward to some warmer spring days, and hopefully my flowers will start popping up out of the ground that I planted last fall. So I'm hoping you're having nice weather wherever you are. I have some fun cards for you today. I actually have quite a few, but I think that they'll move rather quickly and I can keep my video in under an hour because that's what I like to do. I don't want to go too long and have people getting bored and turning it off. So thank you so much for watching and tuning in. Today's theme will be black and white with a little bit of color thrown in there. So I hope you enjoy these cards. A lot of them use the True Love Designer Series paper, which is all black and white, but we need a little bit of color in our lives. So all of them have a splash of color thrown in. All of the measurements and pictures of the cards and all other information, product links and all that will be on my blog, which is stampdesignswithdenise.net. So if you have any questions, please reach out to me and let me know, comment on my videos. And I do try to go back and answer questions and respond to your comments. So I really appreciate that. It helps me keep doing these live videos when you comment, and I know that people are watching and appreciating them. So thank you very much. So I am going to get started here with some creativity stamping and get my camera turned around and we'll get started. So let's get our housekeeping out of the way. The next paper pumpkin kit for April will be the So Cool. It is Indulge the Craving for Warm Weather and Cool Summertime Fun. So with these graphics and colors, I think this is going to be a pretty bright and cheery set. It says that it includes enough supplies to make 12 fresh, fun-shaped cards with coordinating envelopes. It will have vivid watercolor images, 2 matching sticker sheets, and a versatile stamp set with sentiments that the entire family can use all year long. And I just today got my March Here's to You paper pumpkin. Look at how pretty that box is. So I'm going to be working on that in the next few days, and then hopefully by the end of the week I will have some alternatives and I will post my video for that. We are still running the Hey Chick and Hey Birthday Chick bundle specials. The dies and the stamp sets are only available until June 30th. So if you are interested in either one of these sets, you can order them until June 30th. And then we also have the Butterfly Bouquet collection that is currently available. The stamp set and the dies will be carrying over into the new catalog, but the papers, the Butterfly Bijou and the Natural Touch specialty papers will only be available until May 3rd. So if you're interested in either of those, now is the time to order those. It's always a good time to join Stamping Up. If you are interested in becoming a discount shopper and getting 20% off all your Stampin' Up purchases, please contact me and we can talk about it further. I was in a team meeting last night and I demonstrated how to make these really cute note cards and then how to emboss this acetate box. And these are the note cards I used. The stickers are from that Sand and Sea collection. And so I just coordinated them. But so our team meetings are always a lot of fun, and just being on the team is great. The people on it are fantastic, friendly, and you always learn new things. So if you're interested in becoming a discount shopper or being a demonstrator, please reach out to me and I'm happy to talk to you about that. Okay, let's get started. Our first card uses the Daisy Lane bundle, which includes this stamp set and then the medium daisy punch. So the card part, our card base is 11 by 4 1/4, and it will be scored at 5 1/2. I also have a scrap piece of the purple posy paper. I have a basic white, and this is 2 1/2 by 5 1/4. I have some basic black, and this is 3/4 by 5 1/4. And then we're going to be using some of the Playing with Patterns resin dots, and our ink will be the Tuxedo Black. So we're going to do some stamping first using our smaller daisy from the stamp set, and then our sentiment is Smile. I'm going to bring in a scrap piece of paper so I don't leave marks on my tabletop. So I'm going to stamp out 2 daisies on my scrap piece first. And we will punch those out in a second with that medium daisy punch. And then I'm going to stamp my daisies on this basic white paper. So I'm just going in and filling all around with this daisy. There we go. And I can move this out of the way. And actually, I'm going to stamp my sentiment on the front of my card base, down in the lower right-hand corner. So let's get these punched out. And now I'm going to layer this basic white onto that black. I just want it to peek out a little bit on the side there like that. So I will add a little bit of glue here. And then I'm going to attach this to my card base. It's a little bit smaller than my card base, so I'm just trying to leave a little bit of equal margins here all the way around. And then my 2 daisies, I am going to layer together. I used a glue dot, and I'm going to set it off center so that you can see all the petals of that flower. And then we'll use a big dimensional right in the back on the middle. And then I'm going to cover up this stamped daisy with that there, like that. And then we have our resin dots. So the reason I chose the purple posy color was because that was the color of the dots in here. So this set comes with purple posy, crushed curry, and coastal cabana. So then I thought these cards were really, went together very quickly, and were very nice, so you could use and make up a set of note cards using all 3 of the colors. And you could make a whole series of those, and you could package them up and give them to a friend. So let me get cleaned up, and we will get our next card out for our next demonstration. Our next card will use the Brilliant Wings dies. This set of dies coordinates with the Butterfly Brilliance stamp set. We're not going to use the stamp set. I'm just going to be using the dies. So I used 2 of the smaller detailed dies, and I die cut the butterflies. I cut out 5 of them and used, let's see, we have Poppy Parade, Mango Melody, and then I have Daffodil Delight, the Granny Apple Green, and Coastal Cabana. So I used all those scrap papers. And so Stampin' Up! Has color collections. There's brights, neutrals, regals, and the subtles, and then of course the in colors. And so all of these colors came from the brights collection. So I wanted to stay within that color family. And then we're going to use some matte black dots. Oof. I don't know why that was hard to say. And then we have some designer series paper, and this is 1.5 by 5.5. And this comes from the True Love Designer Series paper pack. And then our card base is the thick basic white. It's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Now the Butterfly Brilliance does not have a sentiment with it, so I am using the You Are Amazing stamp set, and we are going to use the You Are Amazing stamp. So I'm going to stamp right on the front of my card base. And there we go. I'm always a little bit nervous stamping right on my card base because it could not turn out good, but that one was pretty good. So for this, I am going to, this is my designer series paper, we're going to adhere this down at the bottom of my card base. I think I'm going to use my seal. Sometimes with the designer series paper, the glue is too wet and it starts to bubble up a little bit. But if you use the seal, it adheres nicely. If I'm doing cardstock to cardstock, I like to use the Tombow glue. So we'll put that right there. And then these butterflies are just going to kind of come across the bottom here. And I'm going to kind of do them in the rainbow colors order. So I'm going to use my glue dots to attach these. And then we will fill in with these other ones. I'm going to bend my glue dot over in half so that you don't see it. The orange and the green one had a little bit bigger bodies, so So you could make this using, you know, any colors you want, any color family. Well, I don't want them. I need my butterfly to not be over the edge of the card because it won't fit in the envelope then. So there we go. So there's our second black and white with a splash of color card. So I like the details of those butterflies. And then I did want to show you using some of that designer series paper. You could do this for all the cards. I'm not going to decorate envelopes for all the cards we're making today, but I did want to show you just one. This is a piece of designer series paper. It's about 2.5 by, I think, 5 3/4, maybe a little bit more than 5 3/4. This will fit right on the back envelope flap. And I am going to use glue for this so that I can get really close to the edge. And we can attach this. So the other side actually has those little daisies, so I could use this side for that, and maybe I'll do that and then use that for that very first card that we made with the daisies. And then you're just going to want to come in with your paper snips and you trim this all the way around the envelope. And there we have a decorated envelope. And so there's that daisy card from the first one. How cute is that to go together? And then of course this is the card we just made with all those butterflies. So let's get cleaned up and we will make our next card. Nope. We're not going to do that. We're going to add our matte black dots first. So I'm just going to take some of these and I just randomly kind of place them on here. Maybe like that. And there we go. Now our card is finished and we can move on to our next card. We'll get cleaned up. So our next card uses the Massive Thanks sentiment, thank you. And then we are going to be using the Perennial Petals dies. And this is part of a bundle. It's part of the Pretty Perennials bundle. And I'm not going to be doing any stamping with that, but just using the different flower images in my dies. So these are the dies I used, and then again I'm using all colors from the Regals collection. So all of the papers I chose were part of the Regals collection. So these are what I cut out. So this is like rich raspberry and then the crushed curry. I did the leaves using the shaded spruce. Let's see, we have pumpkin pie and crushed curry. That's another one of those. Rich raspberry with the crushed curry. And then this is real red. And I did pumpkin pie, rich raspberry, and that's one of them already put together. My leaves are all in garden green, and that's another pumpkin pie and crushed curry. So those are all the elements we'll be using from the dies and all of those Regals collection colors. I have my card base, which is the thick basic white. It's 11 by 4 1/4. We're going to score it at 5 1/2 and use our bone folder. We have a piece of the True Love Designer Series paper. And this is 1 1/2 by 5 1/2. we have a piece of the basic black that's 3/4 by 5.5. And then I have my thank you sentiment from the Massive Thanks. We will stamp that in the tuxedo black. And again, holding my breath and stamping right on my card base. Very good. Whew. Okay, so now we're going to do this as well. We're going to attach our designer series paper to our black piece. And then I'll add my seal here and we'll attach this to the front of our card. And I have a couple of these flowers that I did not have put together yet. So let's see, I'm going to use my glue dots. There, so now we have those all together. So what I'm going to do is sort of do like a cascade of flowers down the side of this card using all these elements. So I think I'm going to start by putting this one, I'm putting the dimensional sort of in the middle of this so that I can tuck flowers in and around. I'm going to sort of put that right here as my focal point. And then we'll sort of build our cascade of flowers around this. I want to make sure I get some greenery in here. So we could kind of put that like that and put a little bit of glue and tuck it in underneath. Like that. And then let's see. Use a dimensional on my orange flower. Maybe a little glue on this one. I'm using all my adhesives today. So let's see. Sort of tuck that one in under here. Maybe I think I want that one underneath too. Actually, I think I should lay them all out and decide here. Let's see where they're all going to fit the best. Okay, we'll do that. So let's get a dimensional on here. We can put a little bit of glue on each of these and tuck those in. And then I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this one as well. And so we still have our leaves. So I'm going to trim this one. And we stick this down in through here. Maybe put this one coming out over here. And then we have our little ones. So again, you know, this card is great. You could use any color combinations that you like and pretty much design any type of flower garden that suits your fancy. And then I'm pulling back out these matte black dots, and I am going to put one in the center of each flower. So we have some larger ones, so we'll do those on our larger, maybe the red and the raspberry ones. We'll get the larger dots, and then we'll do the smaller dots on our little ones. Tuck that in there like that. And then there we go. There is our next card. So let me get cleaned up and we will work on our next card. So this card is going to be using the stamp set Garden Wishes. And then all of our card parts are, our card base will be 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have a layer of Daffodil Delight. This is 4 7/8 by 2 1/8. I have a piece of that True Love Designer Series paper. It is 2 inches by 4 3/4. Those two will be layered together. And then I have basic white that is 4 by 2, and the basic black that is 4 1/8 by 2 1/8. So those will also get layered together. So all of my stamping is going to be done on this, and I have some Daffodil Delight, and then I have the stamps from the Garden Wishes stamp set. So we're going to be using Tuxedo Black to start. I'm going to take my dandelion here that's sort of past its prime and spreading seeds all over my yard and filling it with beautiful weeds. So I'm just going to stamp that right in the middle here. And I have my little sentiment that says hello. We're going to do that right down here. And then I have the center of the dandelion, but I want just a little bit of subtle color. So I'm going to ink it up and I'm going to stamp it off, and then I'm going to stamp it on here. So it gives it a little bit softer color there. And then I do have our little sort of seeds here blowing in the wind, and we're going to do those on our card base. So let me get some of it together, and then I will show you how I wanted to do that. So we're going to layer our Designer Series paper. And I attach this to the card base. And then my stamped flower is going to get attached to the other black layer. And so this is going to go right here. So I want my seeds to be on my background, but I just wanted to visually figure out where that corner was. So right about there is where I want to start having them come up out of, like that. And then we're going to use dimensionals to attach this front panel. And then that will go right there like that. So as you can see, all of these cards are coming together very, very quickly. I like the simplicity of them. I like the black and white with the splashes of color on them. Again, that uses that Garden Wishes stamp set. So let me get my stamps cleaned up and we will move on. Our next card uses the Wild Rose dies. This is part of the 2A Wild Rose bundle. I'm not using the stamp set though. I am just going to use one of the dies, and I used it to die cut out the basic white with that rose outline shape. And so our card parts are, card base is 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. Then I have the True Love Designer Series paper, and this is a full panel that's going to completely cover the front of this. So it is 4 1/4 by 5.5. I have a layer of the basic white, and this is 3 3/4 by 5. I have another piece of that True Love Designer Series paper. It's 1 7/8 by 1 7/8. Our splash of color is the Magenta Madness, and that's 2 by 2. And then we have our basic white rose, and then we're going to be using the 2022 in color enamel dots. So really there is no stamping on this, and we're just going to get everything layered and attached. And I really like the once we get it all together, you'll see that Magenta Madness just makes a real sharp contrast on the card, adding that little splash of color so that it stands out. And so, I mean, you could, if you had a sentiment that you wanted to, you could attach it down here on the lower part of the card. I just really liked the simplicity of this card without adding too much to it. So you could actually make up like a whole series of these and give them away as note cards. Or you make up a whole bunch of these, and then when you needed one for an occasion, you could just add a sentiment on the inside. So we're just going to attach that right in the middle of that. And I'm going to get out, I'm running out of these enamel dots. I was able to order some more last week when we had that free shipping day. I hope you were able to take advantage of that. I certainly did. I stocked up on some papers because you can't beat free shipping. put that right in the middle of that. And then I'm going to use dimensionals to pop that up on my card. So I'll stick that sort of up near the top. And there we go. And there's that card. So as you can see, I mean, all of these cards aren't very involved. They're all going together pretty quickly. And I really, once I started designing these, I couldn't stop. I had so many ideas for this black and white theme that I was going with. So let me, I guess I don't have much cleaning up to do. I didn't use any stamps, and we can move on to our next card then. So this set is going to use the curvy dies. So let me get these all out here. So I used this one that sort of had this delicate like lace pattern. That's my sample card. So I cut out the basic black using that. So this is the side I'm going to use, and of course you could use this other side for another card, or even the same design. You just won't have that pattern on it. And then I am using the Small Blooms punch, and I punched out these flowers. So for these colors, I didn't go with a color family. I decided that I wanted to use these holiday rhinestone jewels, and I used the colors in this as my guide. So I have the Mango Melody, I have Real Red, I have Just Jade, I have Pool Party, and then I have Night of Navy. So my color inspiration came from the holiday rhinestone. And then I am going to use the Quite Curvy stamp set. I'm doing the Wishing You the Happiest of Birthdays. And this is a bundle. So they come together as a bundle, or you can buy them individually. So let me get this card. So our card base again is that thick basic white. It's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And I'm going to put this down here on the bottom. So that basic black card was 5.5, I think, by 4. And we'll put that there, and then I am going to use a small dimensional in each one of these to pop that up. So we'll use the mini dimensionals. And then let's see, my green one's going to go in the middle. So we'll sort of start there and work our way out on either side. Do the Just Jade. This is the Pool Party. This is the Night of Navy. Mango Melody. And Real Red. Now, I did attach these before stamping because I wanted to get that, see where that curve was, and my stamp's sort of going to go right over there. So this is another one of those times where we're going to ink it up, press down, hold our breath, and hope that I didn't just ruin a card by stamping it incorrectly. So kind of line it up, and then I'm just going to go straight down, straight up. Oh, very good. And then let's see, we'll get out our rhinestones. We'll add centers to all of our flowers here that we punched out. I like the Just Jade color. You probably could have used, I don't know, the garden green might have looked nice with that color rhinestone, but it's a little bit different shade than the Just Jade, but it works for me. And there we go. There is our last card, black and white with a splash of color. So I hope you enjoyed this theme. I know I had a lot of cards, and I think I came in under my I like to do things in less than an hour. And I think because the cards came together so quickly and there wasn't a lot of stamping, that I wanted to show you all the options. So let's bring some of these back out. So this used our quite curvy bundle with our Small Blooms punch, our holiday rhinestones. This used the Two-Way Wild Rose, the dies. They most of them use that True Love Designer Series paper. This was our Garden Wishes. This was our Pretty Perennials using the Regals color collection. This is the one that used that butterfly dies from the Butterfly Brilliance, and that used the Brights color collection. And then we have our Daisy Lane using the Playing with Patterns resin dots, so that's your purple posy one. And then I had showed you how to decorate the envelope using the True Love Designer Series paper on the flap. So, wow, that's a lot. So thank you so much for sticking with me. I hope that you enjoyed this black and white with a splash of color. This is my March host code. If you are interested in placing an order, I'd love your business. I am happy to offer you free stamping videos, and your likes and comments help me continue with those. Thank you so much for watching, and remember to leave a little sparkle wherever you go.